Alrighty, so today, happy Sparking Zero Day. When this video is going to be uploaded, you guys can expect some Sparking Zero on the channel a little bit later, but we are still going to be carrying on with your normally scheduled Dokkan programming, because I know that's what most of you are here for. But down below, go ahead and let me know what you want to see from Sparking Zero on this channel, because I feel like, you know, as a Dragon Ball fan who does YouTube with Dragon Ball games, I think I'd be doing myself a disservice by not trying Sparking Zero. So, today's video, we are going to be talking about mechanics that Dokkan should add to greatly improve the game, make things a little bit easier for players, and so on and so forth, right? I think that they have made a bunch of quality of life changes that have really kind of led to the game making really good progress and becoming more accessible to newer players and becoming easier to, you know, just easier to get through for endgame players, right? Just going to certain things, certain menu changes, all of that fun stuff, right? We've come a long way from where the game was, you know, 9 years ago when it came out. So, enough yapping, let's go ahead and get into the first one. This should be the most obvious for a lot of players. But the summon skip button, right? The summon skip button is something that this game desperately needs, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a friend summon as an example, just to kind of give you a general gist of what I'm talking about, right? So here we go. Let's see. Yeah. So Trunks and Yamcha flying in, right? Trunks and Yamcha, as you guys know, I hope you would know, is not a combination in this game for summoning, right? So most of the time when I see Trunks and Yamcha coming into the screen, right, for summoning, top right corner, you know, somewhere like right up here under where my battery is on the phone, you know, just double tap the skip button, right? Like there's no gold text here indicating that there's a fusion. This isn't a rift or anything. And then I pull down, oh, Zeno's not there. Okay, he didn't say Owarida. I don't have the audio on, but you guys kind of get the idea, right? I'm spamming the top right corner on my screen. This, like, again, this is sort of a minimal problem because they do want you to enjoy the summoning experience, but I feel like I could speak for most people in saying that, like, I don't want to sit through an animation where I'm already annoyed because Trunks and Yamcha just flew in, and that would certainly just speed up the process, right? Especially if you're doing stuff like friend summons, right? Like, you guys just saw, like, they've updated the rates on the friend summon banner for Elder Kais and stuff like that. Like, they've been just added to the banner like normally. And on JP, I have almost 7 million friend points, right? Because there was never a reason to use them before, you know, recently. And it's like, obviously, I don't want to sit through all that. So if I could just summon, hit skip, that would save me so much time, right? So that is the first one. Let's go ahead and hop into an event for the second example. Okay, I hopped over into the link leveling event for Guru, right? This isn't supposed to be like a difficult event or anything like that. So here's what I'm trying to get at, right? What I think another thing that this game really could use is an indicator that a character has guard activated. Now, with that being said, the game has made updates to these, right? We have gotten updated icons for, like, if a character is stunned, if a character is sealed, if a character is doing crit chance, if a character has damage reduction. You can see it on Gogeta Blue, or not Gogeta Blue, Fusing Super Gogeta, the kind of like the arms crossed symbol, the fourth one on Tech Gogeta, right? That is indicating that the character has damage reduction, that they have all types of certain things active, right? I think what would be very helpful here is if there was a guard indicator, right? Because if there was a guard indicator, we would be able to kind of play our turns accordingly, right? If we knew that a character was going to have this, then it would be like, okay, this character is guarding, so I might be able to put them in slot 1 instead of it being a chance, right? And then you got to be like, oh, this character might be guarding, they might not be guarding, so I'm just going to have to throw them in slot 1 and then risk it, and then they don't guard, and then your run is over, right? So that is kind of like one thing, you know, that would be very helpful in terms of gameplay, right? Because like I said, they've tried to make things easier to read with icons and stuff like that. But again, one of the biggest factors in these, in like gameplay, especially in a game like this where RNG is a huge factor, right? This would mitigate the need or the amount of RNG that goes into a run, right? Now, the RNG aspect would still be there. It's like, oh, I got unlucky and the guard didn't proc. But at least you might have played the turn differently if you knew that the guard wasn't there, right? So it's like, okay, the guard isn't active, so I cannot put this character in slot 1. I need them to be in slot 2 so they can get more defense, and then I just need to rely on a dodging character or a character with damage reduction, right? I think that would just make things a lot easier, and again, in a game that is so like RNG based, and where is the enemy supering, how many attacks are here, where are the attacks placed, right? Something like that where you could help dictate the flow of a fight, I think would be very helpful. And yeah, so the guard symbol would definitely be something else I would like for like what's it called? Like pre-turn icons, right? And then the next thing I would like is some way for them to make the defensive stats after supering visible, right? Because this is such a, like, the defensive number in this game is such an important stat to know. Like, especially like pre-turn, post-turn, whatever, like, you know, pre-super, post-super, all of that. Like, the attack number has been there since the beginning of time, right? But the defensive number has always been hidden behind having to press the wheel on the bottom right. So I think that if we were to find a way to be able to add, you know, defense to the, like, even if it was just like rotating numbers, right? Like a symbol with the attack and then a symbol with the defense where the numbers are, right? I don't think that would be like the most overwhelming thing for the player, because the counter argument to that is that there's so much going on the screen as is, or going on the screen as is, that you would not want to have a defensive number. But again, like, being able to see the defensive number could at times determine like whether or not you're going to make it out of that turn or not, right? And then just being able to know the defense post super is a lot better than having to rely on calculations and stuff like that when it's obviously in the game. Like, just let us see it, right? Where you just have to kind of go off of rounding and approximate numbers, right? Because no one's sitting down and actually doing all the multipliers and being like, okay, the defense is exactly, you know, 1,378,433, right? Nobody's doing that. It's like, okay, our defense is like 1.7 million or like 1.5 million, right? So that is another feature that I think should be added to the game, just so we know what our defense is moving forward, or after super and all that fun stuff. But yeah, that's another mechanic I think should be added to the game. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay, so the fourth item on our list here is going to be, we have 5 on this one, but the fourth item is going to be concerning the friend support, or the friend system within Dokkan. Now, I'm sure most of you guys know at this point that the friend system has been a bit of a meme over the last couple of years, right? Like, the way they've tried to fix it, the way that they've tried doing things with it. I think that the system they have now is not the best, but let's go to a difficult event, I guess, and we'll be talking more on the difficult event stuff later, but I'll just explain what I mean. All right, so let's go here, right? And we will filter it by like extreme physical, right? So you can see we have a slew of options here, right? Say I wanted to run like an Otherworld Warriors or like a Resurrected Warrior setup with like Angel Golden Frieza as a leader or something like that. This is the options that I have, and if I keep resetting, it's not really going to change, right? So a lot of times if you're trying to do like a specific run or like a challenge run or try and do something fun, you will run into this situation where you have like these awful friend leads, right? Like, look at this. Like, this is a rainbowed, like a non-Easy Aid second form Frieza. Like, what is that, right? This character Easy Aid in like, what, 2019? And then we've also got a, let's see, are you Easy Aid? A non-Easy Aid Broly trio that's 55% and has 4 dupes in it. So a Rainbow Broly trio that is 55% and super attack level 11, right? Like, what if you wanted to run, what if for some reason you wanted to run a double second form Frieza team, and then the only friend support you have is just this one that isn't Easy Aid, right? So that was a really just extreme example. Like, obviously if you're running like superheroes and you need Beast Gohans, that's never going to be a problem. But if you are trying to run something niche, you can potentially run into that issue where you cannot find a duplicate of the friend support that you want to use, and it's going to lead to a big problem where you're not going to be able to play the game the way you want to, because again, the friend system is not very good. So this is not like my original idea, but what I propose for, you know, for the community here is that we can duplicate our leader, and therefore, like, for friend points, and we're good, right? We spend 1,000 friend points, we spend 2,000 friend points or whatever, and we just copy our leader into the spot, right? That easy. It's done, right? So that way, when I want to do a challenge run and I want to do like a youth team and there's no like proper youth leader on the friend system, I can duplicate my leader and that isn't a problem anymore. And that just makes life so much easier for us, right? Where you know, it's just like, you guys kind of get what I'm trying to say, right? Like when we just run out of these, like when you don't have like a niche friend lead, it can sometimes just make the game not as fun. Like where you're like, oh boy, I really wanted to do this run, or I really wanted to do this challenge. And then you have to tell your buddy like, hey, set so-and-so as your friend support. And it's like, okay, this is the only chance I have at this because the friend system is ass, right? So really, to me, now that Chain Battle is gone, like aside from just being able to have your people on your friends list, it really just doesn't feel like there's much of a point to the friend system or the friends list anymore, and that's unfortunate, but it is what it is, right? So that is one of them. Let's go ahead and move on to the last mechanic I want to talk about in this video, and that is going to be the condensing of the challenge tab and potentially a fifth tab or just a new section for it altogether. So you guys can see we have a ton of challenge events now, but what we also have is a slew of Dokkan events, right? Look how many events I have to scroll through, right, to get through all of these. There are way too many events on this tab, to the point where we just got to put these Dokkan events in a separate tab, right? Because these are, like, the purpose of these are so different from the purpose of the difficult fights in the game right now, and I just think that if we did move them over, it would be a lot easier, and it would just be like a quality of life change, right? Just being able to access, like, challenge events, or maybe if, like, even if there was like another tab for like prime battles or extreme Z areas, there was a section for, right? Just moving menus around, that would make life a lot easier, just because like if I want to find a specific Dokkan event, it's going to take a while, right? And putting these together with all of the difficult events in the game, I'm just not a fan of. I'd say this is the least significant one, but it is just one that I wanted to talk about. So there you guys go. 5 mechanics that I would like to see added to Dokkan to improve the quality of the game. The first one being the skip summon button. The second one being a guard indicator. The third one being defense being shown on the screen after a super attack during the turn. A fourth change being the friend system being overhauled, so that way we can copy our friend leaders. And then the fifth one being Dokkan events being relocated. So, like I said, don't forget to leave a like before you go if you did enjoy today's video, and don't forget to subscribe if you are new. Like I also said earlier, happy Sparking Zero Day, so I hope you guys have fun with that game, and let me know what you want to see when it comes to Sparking Zero on the channel. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.